Hey guys, assalamu alaikum. Hope you are all fine. So today topic is the lymph node. We will discuss about the lymph node through this diagram. Because through diagram it is easy to learn and to understand the all internal and external structure of the lymph node, because we study the histology of the lymph node. So without wasting time, let's start. We know that lymph node are this small oval or bean shape interposed in the part of the lymphatic vessel. As you can see here, it is the bean shaped structure lymph node, and it is present in the lymphatic vessel, and it acts as a filter for the lymph node. The average diameter, or we can say size, in range from 1 millimeter to 20 millimeter. Each node is convex contour aspect as one point. You can see here the lymph node is bean shaped, and all the outer surface is convex, but the one point where it not convex, and this point is known as hilum, as you can see here, and this point is known as hilum. Arteries enter while vein and afferent lymphatic vessel leave the node at the hilum. You can see here arteries enter and vein and efferent. I'm saying efferent, not afferent. Efferent lymph vessel leave the lymph node from this point, and it is known as hilum. You can see here. Each lymph node is also supplied by a lot of afferent lymphatic vessel. As you can see here, this is the lymphatic vessel which can supply from the outer surface or from the convex outer surface. A lot of lymph node, a lot of afferent lymph nodes supply to the lymph node at various points along in the cortex surface, as you can see here. So the most important point is that it contains both efferent and afferent lymphatic vessel. It also contains hilum, and the hilum is the point where the artery enter and vein and afferent lymphatic vessel leave, and the afferent lymphatic vessel is present on the convex contour. Okay, so this is the important point. Now we will talk about the membrane. Lymph node is covered by a lymph node is covered by a connective tissue. You can see here connective tissue, which is connective tissue mainly composed of the dense packed collagen fiber. Okay, this is the connective tissue capsule which is covered the lymph node. Okay, now you can see here it also contains trabeculae, or we also call septa. The septa is arised from the internal, you can see here, internal aspect of capsule and extend into the inferior of the lymph node. It is arise from internal aspect, not from the external aspect. It is also important point. You can see here this one. So it is arise from the internal aspect, not the external aspect. This is the small introduction related to lymph node. Now we will further move toward the internal structure of the lymph node. The parenchyma of the lymph node can be divided. This is the parenchyma of the lymph node. Divide into two regions. The outer, which is darker region, also called cortex. You can see here, this is the cortex. This all portion is the cortex. This is all portion of the cortex. And the inner light region, you can see here, this is the inner light region, which is called medulla. So lymph node divide into two parts, the outer dark region cortex and inner light region medulla. We will discuss one by one. First we will discuss about the cortex, and then we will discuss about the medulla. So as you can see here, in the cortex of the lymph node, this is the cortex. In the cortex of the lymph node, the connective tissue trabeculi run parallel to the surface and divide this region into incomplete compartment. You can see here it is move inside and it divide the cortex of the lymph node into incomplete compartment. The the cortical lymph tissue is separate from the capsule of the lymph. You can see here capsule, this is the capsule which is separate from the cortex of the lymph node through a small space, or we say that narrow space. This space is known as subcapsular sinus. So it is also important, it is also known as subscapular sinus. The sinus receives lymph from the afferent lymphatic vessel and it is continuous and radially move toward medulla. So through this sinus, lymph move from the afferent lymphatic vessel to the medullary sinus. Medulla also contains sinus, but we will discuss later. And you can see here they also contain sinus. Okay, they also contain sinus. So lymph move from this this radially move sinus and move toward the medullary sinus. Okay, cortex further cortex of the lymph node divide into two regions. The outer is the nodular cortex and the inner is the paracortex. The outer is nodular cortex. Why it is called nodular cortex? Because you can see here they contain nodules. Therefore, they called nodular cortex, but the outer region which do not contain nodules, so it is called paracortex. Now we will discuss about the nodular cortex. Okay, nodular cortex is also called superficial cortex because it presents superficially. Contain primary as well as secondary lymphoid nodule. In this diagram, there do not have any primary lymphatic nodule, because primary lymphatic nodule do not contain any germinal center. So what is germinal center? You can see here this is the secondary lymphatic nodule because they contain germinal center. As you see, they contain germinal center. Okay. And the primary lymphatic nodule contain B lymphocyte and do not exhibit any germinal center. So this is the difference between the primary and the secondary lymphatic nodules. So primary lymphatic nodules do not contain any nodules and they contain B lymphocyte and they don't have any germinal center. But each secondary lymphatic nodule exhibit a light region called the germinal center, which is present in the center, so it is called germinal center, and a dark purple region which is called the mantle zone or corona. You can see here this is the mantle zone, this is the dark purple, and the central, this is the germinal center. As you can see here, this is the germinal center and this is the mantle zone. Okay, the mantle zone, this one, the mantle zone of the lymphoid nodule consists of compact arranged B lymphocytes, while their germinal center contain plasmoblasts. The dark region contain B lymphocyte, and the central region contain plasmoblast. What is plasmoblast? Actually, plasmoblast differentiate into plasma cell and also contain lymphocytes, lymphoblast, which is differentiate into memorial B cells. So the outer region contain B lymphocyte and inner region contain plasmoblast and lymphoblast. So but the difference between but the main thing you must remember that then the cortex or the nodular cortex contain B lymphocytes. Now we will talk about the paracortex. The paracortex, or we also call deep cortex, is the region between the nodular cortex and the medulla. You can see here it is present between the center. It contains T lymphocyte. Nodular cortex contain B lymphocyte, it contain T lymphocyte. Okay, so it is also called thymus dependent zone. What? It is also called thymus dependent zone. No lymphatic nodules are present in the paracortex. As you can see here, no lymphatic nodules are present in the paracortex. What is present in the paracortex? Actually, paracortex contain a special type of post-capillary venules. You can see here post-capillary venules, which is called high and endothelial venules. You can see here it is called high endothelial venules. Okay, instead of flat endothelial cell which line the ordinary capillaries and venules, the high endothelial venules are lined by cuboidal epithelial cells. So this is the important point, that high endothelial venule which is present in the paracortex are not lined by flat squamous cell, but it is lined by cuboidal epithelial cell. Okay, this cell possesses a receptor which interact with the lymphocyte and facilitate their migration from the blood into the paracortex. And paracortex. And it is also possess another type of receptor which is called aquaporine or water channels, which enable these venules to concentrate the lymph entering the lymph node. It is estimated that 30% of the water and electrolytes from the limbs are returned to blood through these HEV, means high endothelium venules. So we will discuss about the cortex. Now the difference between the paracortex and the nodular cortex is that paracortex do not contain any nodule, but it contain venule, special post-capillary venule which is called high endothelial venule, and the cell of high endothelial venules is cuboidal, not squamous. Okay, and the nodular capsule is maybe primary or secondary, but in this diagram we see the secondary, not the primary. So secondary contain, what is the difference between primary and secondary? Primary do not have any germinal center, while the secondary have a germinal center. So nodular cortex divided into two parts. The outer dark region is the mantle zone and the inner is the germinal center. Okay, and the capsule and nodular capsule separate through a narrow space, and this space is known as subcapsular sinus. Hope you can understand the cortex of the lymph node, because it is very important in the histology and a lot of MCQs come from this topic. In next video we will discuss about the medulla. We will discuss slowly, and because you enjoy and you memorize this diagram in memory, because through diagram we can easily learn and understand the all internal and external structure of the lymph node. Hope you can understand. Thanks for